Welcome to the Story Hub. Today we're exploring the Master Key System by Charles F. Haanel, a remarkable mind who believed that every person carries within them a silent but powerful force capable of shaping their destiny. A force rooted in thought, intention, and the quiet currents of the inner world. And as we begin this journey together, imagine yourself stepping into a vast, serene space where the air seems to hum with possibility, because Haanel's message is simple, yet life-changing. Everything begins within you. Picture walking across a wide hall, illuminated by soft golden light, each step echoing gently, as if reminding you that every thought you've ever held has left a footprint on your life. And here, in this place, Haanel invites you to witness your mind not as a restless storm of random ideas, but as a workshop of creation, a sacred space where the foundations of your future are being built piece by piece. As you move deeper into this hall of inner awareness, imagine the world outside growing quieter, fading softly into the background, until only your breath and your thoughts remain. Revealing a truth often overlooked, that thought is the origin of all success, all failure, all transformation. And Haanel asks you to see your thoughts as seeds, tiny but powerful, each one carrying the potential to shape your emotions, decisions, habits, and ultimately the entire structure of your life. Some seeds grow into courage, some into fear, some into hope, some into hesitation. But whatever you choose to plant consistently will eventually rise into the experiences you call your reality. As this understanding settles in, imagine passing through a corridor where the walls slowly shift, from shadow to light, symbolizing the transformation that happens when you begin to direct your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. You realize that concentration, the ability to hold a single idea with calm strength, is the beginning of true power. Because clarity is the master builder, and the universe responds not to scattered intentions, but to focused, unwavering thought. So you pause, standing before a tall window, where sunlight pours through like warm guidance. And in that moment, you feel the connection between your inner world and the greater intelligence that flows through all things. You sense that your mind is not separate from the universe, but in communication with it. And every thought that holds emotion, belief, and persistence becomes a signal, a request that shapes what the world brings back to you. Haanel teaches that the world is not acting upon you randomly. It is responding to you, reflecting your most dominant thoughts, like a quiet mirror waiting for direction. And as you walk through the final stretch of this glowing hall, you begin to sense something shifting within you, a subtle but powerful awareness that you are not a passenger in life, but the architect. And the first blueprint you must design is your inner reality. You reach a wooden door at the end, warm to the touch, as if something meaningful waits on the other side. And with a slow, intentional breath, you open it, carrying with you the realization that the thoughts you choose are shaping the life you live. The light beyond the door grows brighter, inviting you into the next stage of this journey, where the deeper mechanisms of creation, imagination, and inner alignment will unfold as we move into part 2. As you step through that glowing doorway, the world around you feels different, quieter, sharper, almost as if the air itself is listening. Because part 2 of this journey is where you begin to understand that the invisible forces within your mind are not abstract ideas, but living currents that directly shape the course of your life. You walk into a space that feels like a calm, endless horizon, a peaceful field stretching beneath a sky painted with early morning light. And Haanel's voice echoes gently through this stillness, reminding you that the universe responds to your thoughts the way soil responds to seeds, without judgment, without hesitation, simply by giving life to whatever is planted. In this vast, peaceful landscape, you begin to feel the difference between using your mind consciously and drifting through life unconsciously. You realize that most people allow their thoughts to wander freely, never noticing how each wandering idea becomes a brick in the structure of their future. But here, in this quiet expanse, you finally see how every belief you hold, even the smallest one, sends ripples across the fabric of your reality, shaping opportunities, relationships, emotions, and the limits you unknowingly accept. You'll keep walking, and the scene begins to shift. The sky darkens slightly, then brightens again, as if mirroring the inner conflict between doubt and confidence that lives inside everyone. Haanel explains that negative thoughts are not just momentary clouds, they drain your energy, weaken your purpose, and block the flow of creativity from the deeper intelligence within you. Positive, purposeful thoughts, however, act like sunlight, feeding your inner power and allowing you to grow stronger, more focused, more aligned with the life you want to create. And as this truth settles into your bones, you begin to understand that controlling your thoughts is not about forcing positivity. It's about choosing clarity, choosing intention, choosing direction. Suddenly, you find yourself standing beside a calm, shimmering lake, its surface so smooth that it reflects the sky like a perfect mirror, and Hanel urges you to see your mind the same way. When your thoughts are scattered, the surface ripples, distorting everything. But when your mind becomes still, focused, deliberate, it reflects truth, inspiration, and solutions with stunning clarity. So you kneel beside the lake, watching your reflection shift with every emotion, and in that stillness you discover one of Hanel's deepest teachings, that harmony within creates harmony without. If you want a life that feels balanced, strong, purposeful, you must first cultivate that balance within your own thoughts, creating a calm internal atmosphere where ideas can grow without fear or resistance. The air grows warmer, and the head begins to glow with a golden fire, illuminating a path stretching forward into the unknown. You take a step toward it, then another, feeling your confidence rise with each movement. And Hanel's words guide you gently. Choose your thoughts as carefully as you choose the people you trust, because your dominant thoughts will shape your character, and your character will shape your destiny. As the golden path brightens, you feel a sense of purpose blooming inside you, not loud or overwhelming, but steady and powerful. And with that rising energy, you move forward, knowing that the next part of this journey will reveal how imagination, visualization, and disciplined thinking begin to transform desires into reality as you flow. You walk deeper along that glowing path, and the golden light around you slowly expands until it feels like you're stepping into a world made entirely of possibility, a place where the air vibrates with the quiet pulse of creation itself, because is where the master key system reveals one of its most powerful truths: that imagination is not a toy of the mind, but the blueprint of the future. As you move through this luminous landscape, the ground beneath your feet begins to shift like soft sand turning into smooth stone, symbolizing the way your thoughts become stronger and more structured the moment you direct them with purpose. Hanel teaches that everything you want must first be created in your imagination, long before it appears in your life. And he insists that imagination is not fantasy. It is the architect's sketch, the inventor's prototype, the entrepreneur's first plan, the dreamer's compass. You pause, realizing that every major breakthrough you've ever admired, every business empire, every healing transformation, every accomplishment began as a picture in someone's mind, held firmly until the world had no choice but to mirror it. You continue walking, and suddenly the landscape shifts again. A vast, towering structure appears ahead of you, not fully formed, more like a shimmering outline glowing in the distance, and Hanel's voice gently guides you. This is your life as it could be, the version of yourself built from clarity rather than confusion. As you walk closer, the outline becomes sharper. You start to see shapes, details, foundations, and you realize it is your imagination carving out a path. When you imagine clearly, consistently, emotionally, the universe begins to organize itself around your vision, filtering opportunities toward you, attracting people, ideas, and circumstances that align with what you're holding in your inner world. You reach out to touch the structure, but your hand passes through it softly, like light through mist, reminding you that visualization is only the beginning. Hanel says that visualization without belief is like planting seeds without sunlight. Nothing grows. But when imagination is paired with conviction, with expectation, with calm certainty, it becomes magnetic dot. The world around you brightens again, transforming into a massive gallery where images float like paintings suspended in midair scenes from your past. Moments of triumph, moments of fear, dreams you've buried, dreams you've chased, and dreams you've been too afraid to admit. You walk between them, feeling your heartbeat sync with a quiet rhythm of possibility. Hanel whispers that the images you repeatedly focus on, whether consciously or unconsciously, become instructions for your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, once impressed with an idea, begins working day and night to bring it into your reality, shaping your emotions, your decisions, your habits, and the opportunities that appear around you. As you study these floating images, you feel an overwhelming truth rising inside you. You have been creating your life all along. Even in the moments you felt powerless, you move deeper into the gallery and the images begin to swirl, merging into a single radiant vision. A picture of the person you could become if you allowed your imagination to lead instead of your fears. This vision is bold, confident, calm, powerful. It stands tall, unafraid, unshaken by external storms, because it is rooted in inner certainty. And as you stare at this vision, something stirs inside you. A mix of longing, recognition, and a quiet fire that refuses to be ignored. Hanel teaches that the universe does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to strong, sustained images held with emotional conviction. If you can see it clearly enough, feel it deeply enough, and stay aligned with it consistently, it must move toward you just as surely as a magnet draws iron. You reach toward the vision, and for a moment, you feel a pull, gentle but unmistakably real. The gallery fades into a vast night sky filled with stars that pulse softly like heartbeats, and Hanel urges you to choose one star, one desire, and hold it in your mind with total clarity. You pick one that shines brighter than the rest, and as you focus on it, the star begins to drift closer, growing larger, glowing with intense white gold light. This is how imagination works. The more you focus on something, the more life breathes into it. But Hanel also warns you that imagination must be disciplined. The mind left untrained jumps from desire to desire, weakening each one until nothing materializes. True creation comes from choosing one vision, anchoring yourself to it, and nurturing it with persistent, unwavering thought. The star floats before you, now close enough to touch, and you gently place your hand against its shimmering surface. Instantly, a warm rush of emotion fills your body. Hope, courage, clarity, determination, and you feel the universe respond as if whispering, "Yes, hold this vision. Stay with it. Build it inside until it cannot help but appear outside." When the light finally softens, the star slowly rises, returning to the sky, but the feeling it left inside you remains. Stronger than ever, the world begins to shift again, preparing you for the next revelation, how inner belief, discipline, and emotional alignment transform imagination into physical results. And with that quiet fire still glowing within your chest, you step forward into the unfolding path that leads. You step forward into a world that feels quieter, deeper, almost sacred, as though the very atmosphere is preparing you for a truth that most people never fully grasp. The truth that belief is the engine behind every creation, the golden path. Beneath your feet narrows into a smooth, glowing trail leading through a forest where tall trees shimmer with soft light, their branches gently swaying as if whispering ancient wisdom. Hanel's guidance echoes through the stillness. Imagination creates the blueprint, but belief gives it life. Without belief, even the brightest dream collapses like a building without a foundation. As you walk deeper into this luminous forest, each step feels heavier with meaning. Because you're no longer exploring ideas, you're stepping into the inner mechanics of how reality forms around you. You pause beside a clear, glowing stream. Flowing quietly through the trees, its surface so perfectly smooth, it looks like polished glass. When you lean over it, instead of your reflection, you see your thoughts, the ones you repeat every day, drifting like soft ripples across the water. Some thoughts are strong and empowering, shimmering with confidence, while others flicker with doubt, fear, hesitation. Hanel urges you to see something crucial. The subconscious mind mirrors whatever dominant thought pattern you feed it. If you constantly tell yourself you aren't ready, the subconscious accepts it and shapes your actions accordingly. If you tell yourself success belongs to others, it will block your own path. But if you feed it belief, quiet, steady, unwavering belief, it becomes your greatest ally, working tirelessly to turn that belief into reality. You continue walking, and the forest begins to change. The trees glow brighter, the air thickens with meaning, and suddenly you find yourself standing before a massive wooden gate carved with intricate patterns of symbols, shapes, and swirling lines. The gate feels alive, pulsing faintly with a warm, rhythmic energy. Hanel explains that this gate represents the barrier most people face, the boundary between wanting something and believing they deserve it. Many dreams die here, not because they were impossible, but because the dreamer never fully accepted the possibility of them coming true. You place your hand on the gate, and it gently resists at first, as if testing the strength of your conviction. But then, as your belief strengthens, not through force, but through calm inner certainty, the gate begins to open slowly, its heavy doors parting to reveal a radiant valley beyond Dot. As you step into the valley, the landscape bursts into vivid color, rolling green hills glowing with life, rivers of light weaving between them, and a sky painted with warm shades of dawn. This valley represents the state of harmony that Hanel describes, where thought, belief, and emotion align into a single, powerful force. When you reach this internal harmony, the universe responds with clarity, guiding you toward the right people, opportunities, and timing. You feel the ground beneath your feet shift slightly, vibrating with the same rhythm as your heartbeat, as if the valley itself has recognized your alignment. Here, there is no struggle, no panic, no fear, only flow, like the feeling of a door unlocking inside you. In the heart of this valley stands a tall, crystalline tower, shimmering like sunlight captured in stone. You walk toward it, drawn by a gentle yet irresistible pull, and as you approach, the tower seems to breathe with light, growing brighter with every step you take. Hanel explains that this tower represents the structure of your belief. The stronger it is, the higher you can climb, and the higher you climb, the clearer your vision of the future becomes. You push open the tower's entrance and step inside, finding a spiral staircase that winds upward into a glowing blue haze. Each step upward requires you to release a layer of doubt. Doubt about your abilities, doubt about your worth, doubt about what's possible, and with every doubt you release, the staircase becomes brighter, easier to climb. As though belief is lifting you at the top of the tower, you emerge onto a wide balcony overlooking the entire valley, the forest, and the path you've traveled so far. The view is breathtaking. Everything you've learned, everything you've faced, everything you've awakened to is spread out beneath you like a map of your inner growth. Hanel urges you to understand that belief is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, quiet, and anchored in truth. It doesn't demand proof, it creates proof. And as the warm breeze moves across your face, carrying with it the scent of possibility, you feel the truth settle deep within you. Your belief is building your future. As the sky above begins to glow with a deep, luminous gold, you sense the next phase calling, the moment where belief combines with disciplined action, persistence, and calm inner strength to begin transforming your inner blueprint into real-world results. With a heart steady and awakened, you step down from the tower, moving toward the unfolding path that leads directly. You step off the tower and onto a path that feels more solid than anything you've walked on so far, as if belief has crystallized beneath your feet, turning possibility into direction and direction into power. The air carries a new sharpness, a sense of momentum building inside you, because Part 5 is where the Master Key system transforms from inner discovery to outer action, not rushed action, not forced action, but the kind that flows naturally from deep inner alignment. You walk forward into a landscape shaped by rising hills and long sweeping plains, each one bathed in warm golden light, and Hanel's voice echoes with steady purpose. The thoughts you have cultivated, the belief you have strengthened, now, must be reinforced with persistence, discipline, and unwavering focus. For action is the bridge between the world within and the world without. As you journey across these wide plains, you feel the rhythm of progress beating beneath your feet, like a quiet drum, and Hanel reminds you that action is not about constant movement. It is about consistent movement. People often sabotage their dreams by taking frantic steps fueled by fear or impatience. But Hanel teaches that true action comes from calm intention, where each step is grounded in clarity rather than desperation. You pause for a moment, watching the sunlight ripple across the tall grass around you, and you realize something profound. The universe does not reward speed, it rewards alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions move together in harmony, progress becomes inevitable. It may not always be loud or dramatic, but it is steady and unstoppable. Ahead of you, a series of stone pillars rises from the ground, each one glowing faintly with soft white light. As you approach them, you notice that each pillar carries a word carved in bright fire: clarity, focus, energy, discipline, emotion. Action, these pillars represent the forces that shape all achievement, and Hanel urges you to understand how they work together. Clarity gives you direction. Focus keeps your mind steady. Energy fuels your momentum. Discipline keeps you consistent. Emotion gives your actions meaning. And action, combined with all of these, pulls your inner blueprint into physical existence. You stand among these pillars, feeling their energy pulse softly around you, and you understand that success is never an accident. It is a structure built from the inside out. You continue walking, and the plains slowly transform into a vast workshop filled with tools made of light, hammers shaped from intention, chisels carved from focus, saws forged from persistence. In this workshop, Hanel reveals one of the greatest truths of the system. You build your future with your thoughts, but you refine it with your actions. Your dreams are not fragile. They are projects waiting for your commitment. Each action you take, no matter how small, is like carving away at a block of stone, revealing the masterpiece within. Even failure becomes part of the sculpture, shaping your strength, sharpening your character, and teaching you to keep going even when progress seems invisible. You move deeper into the workshop and find a large table with a glowing blueprint spread across it. When you look closely, you realize it is the future you envisioned earlier, the same shimmering image that appeared when you focused on that star in the sky. But now, instead of being distant and ethereal, the blueprint looks clearer, more structured, more real. Hanel explains that when you pair imagination with belief and belief with action, the universe begins to send you the materials needed to build that vision, ideas, opportunities, encounters, moments of inspiration, but you must work with them. Too many people pray for success while refusing to build the path that leads to it. The blueprint in front of you pulses gently, waiting for you to act, reminding you that your dream becomes real only when you participate in its creation. As you leave the workshop, a long staircase made of shimmering gold rises before you, each step marked with a lesson of persistence. You begin to climb, and with each step, memories surface times you gave up too early. Moments when fear slowed you down, opportunities you ignored because you didn't believe you were ready. But now, as you climb higher, something inside you strengthens. Hanel insists that persistence is the great equalizer. Genius is rare, talent is helpful, but persistence is unbeatable. The person who keeps going calmly, steadily, with unwavering belief is the one who eventually reaches the summit. With each step upward, your determination grows, and you feel the universe responding, almost as though the staircase itself becomes lighter beneath your feet at the top. You reach a vast balcony overlooking a breathtaking scene. Everything. You've walked through everything you've learned. Everything that has awakened inside you stretches out beneath you like a map of your evolution. The view fills you with a quiet fire, a determination that feels unshakable, and as the wind carries a warm, powerful current through the air, you understand the heart of this lesson. When inner work meets external effort, success becomes inevitable. The sky ahead begins to shift, glowing with deep amber hues as if preparing you for the next stage, the moment where inner mastery begins to transform not only your life, but the world around you. With a steady heart and a vision growing brighter inside you, you step toward the unfolding path. And now, as the final stretch unfolds into an even deeper, more soul-shifting chapter, the journey expands beyond discipline itself and dives into the quiet, sacred territory where a person finally learns who they are when the world stops clapping, when the noise fades, and when there's no one left to impress except the reflection staring back at them. Because this is where our hero discovers that the greatest victories are not measured in achievements or applause, but in the internal battles they win silently. Those moments when they choose growth over comfort, courage over fear, and responsibility over escape. And so they walk forward with a new level of awareness, realizing that every hard day they survived was secretly carving wisdom into their character. Every failure was rearranging their inner landscape so they could rise with clearer eyes, and every heartbreak, every loss, every setback was preparing them for the person they were destined to become. And with this awakening comes a fire that doesn't burn out, but burns deeper. A fire fueled by purpose, by identity, by the unshakable belief that they were meant for more than a life lived on autopilot. And in this long, transformative chapter, they start to master the art of staying patient while moving boldly, learning to trust the process even when progress hides behind slow, invisible growth understanding that mountains are climbed one breath at a time and legacies are built one choice at a time. And with every sunrise, they rise stronger, clearer, more aligned with the calling that once felt impossible. Until finally they stand at the threshold of a new version of themselves, wiser, braver, more grounded, carrying the scars of their journey not with shame but with pride, because those scars are proof of growth, proof of resilience, proof that ordinary people can become extraordinary when they stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it themselves. And as they look back at the battles they've conquered and the storms they've walked through, they understand the truth that was trying to reach them all along. Discipline was never the destination. It was the bridge, the torch, the path leading them toward a life shaped by intention rather than impulse. And now they step forward with a heart full of courage, a mind strengthened by clarity, and a spirit that finally knows its own worth, ready not just to live, but to lead, to rise, to inspire, and to build a future worthy of the journey that brought them here. Thanks for watching the Story Hub. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.